Welcome to Pario Magazine, where I chat with individuals who have a desire to create. Today, I'm joined by an American country music singer songwriter whose newest song, Cowboy Break My Heart, is the perfect summer anthem. Welcome to Pario Magazine, Tanner Adell.
Yay! Hi.
So, we're here today to chat about your journey in the world of country music and the new single. Before we dive into all of that, though, do you want to give our audience a little intro as to who Tanner is away from music?
Sure. So I grew up in California and Wyoming, kind of back and forth as a kid, and I've always loved singing. I've always loved dancing. I play a lot of video games. I eat a lot of dessert, and I love my dogs.
Very nice. Did the growing up in Wyoming and California, is that sort of what's influenced your unique style of blending country music with sort of hip hop and R&B?
Yes, I think that's definitely it's gotta be the reason I do that. I have always loved country music, so it tends to be the foundation for me, and then I just do whatever I want after that.
And looking back at the beginning of the musical journey, how did you sort of first discover this passion and then obviously particularly country music?
I mean, it's just how I grew up. I grew up around a lot of country music, and my whole family is from Idaho and Wyoming and Utah. My immediate family was the only real family that lived in California, and that was only during my school year anyway. But my summers were spent around all my cowboy uncles and brothers, and so it was always just a really natural part of my life.
Okay. And who were the sort of biggest inspirations and idols growing up? And then how have those inspirations evolved over the years?
Mm. I've always really loved like Keith Urban. That was one of my first real loves was Keith Urban as a kid, hearing somebody like you. I always thought he was so cute. He's so easy on the eyes. So didn't even know he was like country and country music at all. And he kind of was my intro to country music, even though I didn't know it. But always loved his songs and his voice. So I think he definitely was a big inspiration to me as far as country music goes. And it felt like, oh, finding out that, he's from born in New Zealand, but Australian, that he, was a little bit on the outside, like on the outside a little bit of country, American country music, has always helped me feel like if he can do it, I can do it.
And what's it like now to be here in Australia playing some shows and festivals and stuff, knowing that he was your
Amazing.
inspiration?
Yes, it's so cool. I see him like pretty often just in Nashville for events and things, but the first time I met him was it was my first time playing the Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee, and I got to talk to him for a little while and I told him that I was going to be coming out here in November and he was so excited for me. He said they're going to love you out there and he said to say hi, so hi from Keith.
Awesome. Have you gotten down the path of Australian country music since then, like, and looked into some of the other artists that we have out here?
No, but I'm like, I'm ready to. I've only been here for this week and I only get a whole week out here. But so far, I've just loved meeting so many different people. I love Australia. So I'm excited to dive into the music scene here because I have no idea what it even looks like.
Have you had Vegemite yet? Is another big
Yes,
question.
I have. I have. I've had Vegemite and I like it. I am like, I'm kind of on the Vegemite train. Like, I could do that. I could do that.
Okay, good. Somebody
Yeah.
gave it to you the
Yeah.
right way. They didn't just give you a spoon and a jar.
Exactly. Some bread, well, toast with butter and Vegemite. Yeah,
Perfect.
I love that.
And like we mentioned, you have a unique sound that blends country with hip hop and R&B. What influences d do you bring into that, and how do you go about blending these 2 genres, which probably shouldn't go together?
Right? Yeah, I know. I don't know why it sounds so good. It really shouldn't. But it's just who I am. Like I don't think I would be serving myself fully if I was only making traditional country music or if I was just making traditional pop music or if I was just making traditional hip hop or rap. Like I just wouldn't be happy because I just wouldn't be myself. Being pop and country and putting it together, that's what truly makes it me. I don't really. I'm creative. I have a really good team around me, with my co-writers, my producer, and so it's really a team effort. And sitting in there, hey, I like how this sounds. Let's do it this, or this kind of song. Um, I don't reference other artists much because there's no one really doing what I'm doing. I just
Mhm.
have to be creative and kind of make up what I want it to sound like, which is interesting, but I it seems to have worked for me. So,
When you're approaching writing a new song, do you come at it from, okay, I've got lyrics first, or you might hear
mm,
like a hip hop beat or something first? Is there a particular path that sort of leads you down the creative?
it depends. It's different every time. It's really different every time. I would say most of the time, it's usually starting with like a piano or a guitar, and just kind of a sound or a vibe. Sometimes I'll write down like lyrics just that pop in my head, and so I'll put them into my notes. And then when I go into the studio, I'll show my co-writer and be like, "Hey, like I was thinking about writing something like this. How does that feel? And what does that sound like?" It just kind of depends, but inspiration strikes in so many places. So I have obviously my phone out a lot with my voice memos on it, and sometimes I'll just voice memo little melodies and things like that. It comes from all sorts of different like places for me.
Okay. Yeah, over the years, like chatting to a bunch of different musicians and things, that I would love to sort of just one day like sit down with people and just go through their notes apps with just crazy little snippets, and it's like I don't even know what this
Seriously.
means anymore.
Yes, someone needs to start a show where you have artists come on and that's all it is. It's just going through your notes.
Yep. Yeah, because I think there'd be some things where you're like, oh yeah, that's really poignant, and but now I'm interpreting it a different way, or there's other things you would look at and go, I don't even know what I'm talking about in that.
Totally. Totally.
And then when I was growing up, sort of country music wasn't very popular with younger people, like kids and
Mhm.
teenagers, but it seems to be changing. Have you noticed that at all with your fan base?
Mm. I mean, my fan base is pretty much made up of people who had never cared about country music, never listened to country music, or felt like they couldn't, or just, they'd be made fun of for listening to country music. Um, and that's definitely an interesting like direction, for a fan base. I've I'm creating a completely new kind of fan.
Mhm.
It's not your traditional country music fans. Those people do not like me very much. They're like, this isn't country. It's not their kind of country. But that's the thing with country music is it's always been down kind of this one lane, and as beautiful as traditional country music is, um, people live all sorts of different experiences and lifestyles. And like me growing up my school year in Manhattan Beach, California, a little beach town, and then my summers being in Star Valley, Wyoming, you can't tell me what country is. You know what I mean? Because I've experienced it in a very different way than a lot of other people. So I'm just writing and singing from my own personal experiences and how my life experiences have made me feel about music in general. And that's what it should be. Country music is stories, it's storytelling. And my kind of country music is just how I am choosing to tell my story.
Have you had sort of fans come to you and say, "Oh, you introduced me to this whole new genre, and now I'm hooked and discovering all these other artists as well"?
Yes, I've heard multiple times, that I am the gateway drug to country music, is what people tell me. I kind of get you a little bit interested, and then you're like, oh, this person pops up on your suggested in Spotify, like Luke Combs, because you've been listening to my song Luke Combs or something. And I love Luke Combs. He's one of my favorite country artists. But that he seems to be a favorite from like in my fan base as well. I have a song called Luke Combs, and so they were like, who the hell is Luke Combs? And would look him up and listen to his music and be like, oh my God, I love this. So yeah, it's been interesting to see a lot of people who didn't listen to country music before listening to me, and it opens up the door to finding other artists that they end up loving.
And part of that door being sort of knocked open, you collaborated with Beyoncé on
Mhm.
one of her tracks. How
Yes.
was that experience?
Amazing. I mean, it's exactly what you would think it would be. I've looked up to her for a really long time, and her work ethic. I've loved her live shows. I've watched a lot of documentaries. Um, she's through her documentaries, I've learned what hard work really looks like. And she's kind of set that bar for me personally as an artist. She has set the bar for hard work and dedication and really going after the things that you want and getting them.
Yep. And you also had a song featured in the recent Twisters movie. How
Mhm.
special was that for you?
Amazing. It's my first like soundtrack song. Have you seen it?
Yes. Great movie.
It's, like, kinda spooky, it's, like, a little scary, there are some jump scares in there, tornadoes are very real, and in Nashville, we get tornado season, and it's kinda terrifying, so, I think they did a great job with the movie, the soundtrack is all of my friends are on this soundtrack, it's really incredible, to have a country album as the soundtrack for a movie. It's a really, really special project, and writing it was so much fun. The directors, the music directors were all so great to work with. And I'm like shocked when I sat down in the theater and was waiting for it to come on. I didn't know when it was going to come on and waiting for it to come on. And it comes on during this like chase scene where both teams are going after the same tornado. I mean, I was just like, so I stood up. I had um, my own premiere party with friends and celebrities that I had invited to come to this really old, cool, like little theater in Los Angeles. And I ended it with like a performance and everything. But I'm sitting in the audience of all of my friends, and my song came on, and I literally stood up and I went, "That's my song!" Because I was so excited. It was really special, and I'm hoping to work on more projects like that. I love the film industry. My dream is to work on a Disney princess soundtrack and to be the first voice for like the first mixed ethnicity Disney princess.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's a strong possibility with the way Disney are going with some of their remixes of characters and stuff these days.
Yeah. Yes.
And then as we look into the future, what is over the horizon for Tanner Adell?
Well, I am in Australia this week. I go home and I start my first headlining tour, the Buckle Bunny tour. Sold out. It sold out in a couple of minutes during the pre-sale. We added like bigger venues, more tickets, and that sold out immediately. So I'm just excited to spend some time with my Buckle Bunnies.
Brilliant. So where is the best place for people to support you and track the creative journey moving forward?
I would say social media is so easy to be able to look at what I'm doing. Um, Obviously, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all of that. It's probably going to be the easiest way to keep up with me.
And is it just at Tanner Adell? Nice and simple.
Anna Adele. Yep.
Wonderful. Alrighty. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me and
Yeah.
good luck with everything.
Thank you so much.